Welcome everybody back to another episode of The Pupil's Life. Quickly regretting that name. No, I'm just kidding. How's everyone doing? Oh, that was the... Oh, somebody's not happy. Somebody's upset. I hope nobody's fucking breaking into my house. God damn, what a way to start the podcast. Let me go check this real quick. Alright, false alarm. Dog's just being a little sentimental, you know. My brother's been working around, I think, 7 to 3 in the morning. 7 p.m. to 3 in the morning, so she's probably just still getting adjusted to that schedule. Gave her a couple kisses on the snout, and that seemed to help. Maybe she just wants to be on the podcast, you know. Who the fuck knows? Anyway, what's up with you guys? It's Friday the 13th, and what a better week for that to be the case than the week of 9/11, right? Did you remember the troops? Did you make sure to take a moment out of your day and remember that thing that happened fucking 20 years ago that some of you weren't even alive for at this point? No, I mean, yeah, fucking remember the troops or whatever, right? I mean, I wasn't here for it. I was in Mexico. Don't count me as a part of it. Don't put this on me. But yeah, it's Friday the 13th. I ain't got shit to do, ain't got shit going on because I've been losing my mind recently. I've just been, all over the place, man. I haven't had a night in like 4 nights. So that's been a change of pace for me. You can always tell when I'm going through some emotional shit because I don't spend as much time in my apartment as I would otherwise, right? Like, if you cut to a year ago in my life, I was going to improv classes, coming back early because I didn't want to. Everyone was going out drinking after class, and I was like, nah, I gotta be up early, I gotta write, like all these fucking good habits or whatnot. Now, dude, I go to work, I don't even know what time I get off. I mean, I go to fucking work and they're like, yo, can you stay until 5 today? Can you stay until 6? And I'm just like, fucking, if it keeps me sane a little bit longer, why not? Why pass that up? But at least I don't hate my job, I know I talk a lot of shit about my job on this podcast, but it's my way of coping. I don't hashtag, I just fucking podcast, I've been noticing I say, I say, a lot on this fucking thing. And I also talk like I'm on fucking coke or something. So I'm going to try and slow it down a little bit and just, go with the flow a little bit more and be less aggressive. I don't know, man. I as much as I fucking dig at my family sometimes, I'm like them in a lot of ways, I won't say who, but when I got back from Mexico City, I made a lot of promises to myself, right? I was like, damn, I fucking got close to death. I experienced my hallucination of death or whatever. I smoked DMT and I fucking saw the devil or whatever. And so when I got back from Mexico City, just the whole trip was shit, right? Or maybe I'm just too American now, but I got back from this fucking hard lesson of a trip, and I was like, I'm gonna start working out, and I'm gonna start eating healthy, and fucking blah 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 blah, lie after lie after lie, right? Because I'm not doing shit anymore. And I need to stop closing my fucking eyes when I'm podcasting because I just start leaning into the mic. And then all of a sudden you guys are like, holy fucking shit, this guy's loud. Right? That's what my brother said anyway. He said I'm too quiet. He said he had to raise the volume on his fucking computer all the way so that he could hear me at normal speaking level. Fucking goddamn, I always try and start off, a little less disoriented. Fuck it, I'm not gonna be self-critical, dude. Go fuck yourself. And that one's for me, that one's not for you. It's Friday the 13th and I'm taking it easy. I took a time out of my day to explore some of Medium's, the website, the writing website, Medium's publications. It's kind of like a social media for writers, but it's not like the fucking Twitter and all that bullshit. This is like good writing. I mean, there's terrible writing on there too, but it's a lot more writing heavy than it is like fucking ideas or like small little blurbs. And so I was exploring their publications because they say that's kind of the only way to really make it big on there. I go back and forth and I talk a lot about, I don't want to be big, dude. I just want to write what's fucking honest. But why not do both, right? So I set out some time to do that today. And then I sent sometimes I record these little freestyle raps in Spanish and I send them to my friends, my Mexican friends. So that's been my day. What's your day been like? Have you had any bad luck today? Have you had any ups and downs, any trips or falls, any fucking spills on the shirt that your grandmother gave you? Right? That's oh my god, it's Friday the 13th. Like something's gonna happen. Do people even still believe that, or is that just when I was in high school? I don't know. Nobody's said anything to me about it today, so but I've had I don't know about you guys, but I've had an interesting fucking week, right? I met a girl. Well, I went on a second date with a girl. So this is how my week starts, right? I go on a second date, and this girl's fucking opening up to me about basically. She described how in one of her past relationships, it was formed by trauma bonding, right? And so for those of you who don't know what that means, it basically means that you're meeting somebody for the first time or second date or third date, like you're still unfamiliar with each other, and the way that you're getting to know each other, the way that you're bonding is by sharing traumatic stories from your life, right? And so she shared Sally Sal's Seashores by the fucking Cabana. She shared some crazy fucking stories, and I shared some crazy fucking stories. But the positive is that she was like, yeah, I'm not looking for anything serious, blah, blah, blah. And it was the first time in a while that I've been able to just kind of be upfront with a woman about what I'm looking for too, because I was like, fuck yeah. This doesn't need to be serious, It can be serious in that we are fucking respectful of each other, but we don't need to be text messaging every fucking day and like, oh my god, how are you? Oh, the same as yesterday. Go fuck yourself, right? Because at the end of the day, that's all that fucking texting people is. If you're not making plans, it's like, what are you fucking doing? You're like, do you really care that much about someone's day that you're gonna text with them about it? Just give them a fucking phone call. I don't know. But yeah, so I went on this just a really fun date, and it's a nice start of the week. And then on Tuesday, I shot a short film for my memoir. I had this idea a couple months ago for a book trailer, and it just a little 1 minute to a minute and a half snippet to encapsulate what I feel my memoir is about. Because I got a beer with an old boss of mine who's actually in the memoir, and he was interested in the idea. I just told him all about I mean, we hadn't fucking seen each other in like a year and a half or 2 years. And I was just telling him where I'm at with my life, opening up to him. He's opening up to me, right? Telling me all this shit about his college years and that I was fascinated by. He says he's writing a script about it, and fucking I pray to God that becomes something that I can either read or watch at some point in the near future. But yeah, I'm telling this guy about my life, some of the shit that I've been going through, some of the stuff that I hadn't updated him on. And then I told him about the trailer, and he was like, dude, I've got my own production company. We should make this thing, right? You put up the money, I'll put up the fucking film equipment, I'll put up the ads to get the cast and everything. And so what do you know? Like, I sent him an email that night, and then like the following week he had ads up for casting. He was sending me people's headshots and auditions, and then the week after that we were fucking shooting a short film, which was this Tuesday. Shot a motel, and all for under $200, right? It was my first time directing, or I should say co-directing, because he kind of put the whole thing together. I was just really telling, I mean, because it's my story, right? So I'm having to tell the actors kind of what they're feeling, what their characters are going through, and all this shit. But it was fun, dude. It was fun. It really made me appreciate the art form a lot more. It made me appreciate the experience of filmmaking, which you hear a lot about, but you don't really, I mean, you can watch documentaries and shit, but you don't really get to experience yourself very often. I mean, besides, recording a little video with your friends and shit, like, it's not often that you get to show up to a location and set up lights, set up microphones, set up cameras, think about how you're going to shoot it, right? The angles. And so we did this whole one-shot thing. It's like a minute and a half long, and it's all one shot. And I haven't seen the final cut yet, but he says he's going to have a first cut for me tonight. So I'm excited about that, and really just grateful. I mean, this guy brought all of his own film equipment. He brought food. He brought, like, he made call sheets. He just put the whole thing together. And he's got, like, a bunch of other freelance shit that he's doing. He's running a fucking co-working space, and, like, I don't know. It's something I hope I can one day do for other people, right? Is like work my fucking day job, still write, and still be there for other people and help other people with their shit. One can only dream. But yeah, the short film was dope. I've been saying dope more just to feel more American. Short film went well. My buddy told me I was a natural with it, and it was I don't know, now that I know that he's got the equipment, and that really all that I would need in order to make a short film is to put up the money, I'm starting to think about short film ideas. And I thought about one just earlier today. I was at work, and which is where I feel like that's where I think of most of my great ideas, because I'm always fucking just like, I prep for 2 hours before we open, and I don't really have music there, because I can't have my earphones on because there's other people, and they're all like, hey, do we have fucking kale? And I'm like, oh, let me check. So I've got to be aware, even though it's really only half aware, because in the other half I'm just thinking about these ideas, right? And so the idea I had today, which I don't know, I know you're not supposed to talk about ideas before they're turned into something, but I don't know. It's my first idea, so who gives a fuck? I had this idea for I think 5 to 10 minute short film, right, where we open with, and if this is fucking boring, I apologize. We open with a shot of a dude standing at a front door of a house, like a grown-up house, right? It's his father's house, and he's about to knock. But then we flash back to when the guy was 5 or 6 years old and he was learning how to swim. If that's even when people learn how to swim, I don't know. And his dad is on the opposite end of the pool, right? A younger version of his dad. And this little kid is like, his dad just says, "Just jump in the pool and swim towards me. I won't move away. I'll just swim into my arms. It'll be fine, I promise." And the little kid jumps into the pool, starts swimming toward his dad. And what do you know? His fucking dad starts backing up little by little. And the kid feels like he's fucking like swimming forever because it keeps getting farther and farther away, right? He measured the distance. In his mind, he was like, all right, I'm going to dive in and then like 5 or 6 strokes and I'll be to my dad. I'll get to my dad. And he jumps in, and of course his dad starts moving back, and then he gets to his dad's arms finally, and he starts flailing and crying, and he's just like, I fucking hate you, or whatever, right? Still figuring out the dialogue and all that, and so then when he gets to his arms and he starts doing that, we cut back to this guy that's standing at the door, and now his dad has opened the door, and they greet, and then basically the dad called him over to fix some shit on the TV, right? Just as an excuse to have a conversation with him. And really it's the conversation that they're going to have is a conversation that I had with my dad about a year and some spare change ago. I was in Mexico. I was in Cancun with my ex-girlfriend, and we were, the night before we left for the trip, my sister was in a car accident. And so when we get to Cancun, basically this whole trip revolves around making sure that we're spending time with my sister and supporting her, her recovery. She couldn't walk for 2 months. And the last day of my trip, my dad sends me a message and he's like, hey, I need some help with the satellite, or the dish, or whatever the fuck his subscription service thing is. And so I go up to his room. My ex-girlfriend stays in my bedroom, and so I'm up there, just me and my dad and his girlfriend. And I'm like, oh, what do you need help with? Blah blah blah. It's like, oh, this and that, and then slowly we start, talking about. Basically, he was worried, right, that I was smoking weed. Why? Because my sister was in a car accident because she was driving high. She wasn't driving. Her fucking boyfriend was. Her boyfriend was high and drunk, and he was driving a car, and now they found out basically that my sister's been smoking weed for like fucking God knows how long, God knows how often, right? And my dad is, even though he was a fucking stoner when he was a kid, he's like, yeah, I'm just concerned, hoping that you're responsible with it and blah, blah. And I'm like, dude, I appreciate it. I'm doing fine, though. And he's like, well, it's just that your sister was fucking, she's smoking too much and blah, 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 blah. Fucking trying to be responsible and lecture me about how I should be behaving, right? Instead of looking in the mirror and changing some of his own behaviors, which is what I ended up telling him, was like, dude, you're trying to tell me not to smoke weed, and you're trying to tell my sister the same thing. You're trying to tell her that she needs to get her act together, right? Get your fucking shit together. But what are you doing, man? You've got diabetes, and you've got fucking frozen Crunch bars in the refrigerator, right? Like, stop fooling yourself, man. You're drinking Diet Coke because you think it's a step down from regular Coke. You've got diabetes and you're fucking snorting sugar in the kitchen, right? When nobody's watching. Might as well be. Fucking doing those lines of the White Devil. And so I told him, like, dude, I mean, yeah, you got diabetes and fucking yada yada yada. Don't you think that this is a good time for you to put your money where your mouth is? And and basically, yeah, I mean, I had this very open and personal conversation with my dad, who's like, he grew up in fucking, he grew up in like the Bronx of Mexico, right? Like this small fucking town, and he ran away from home and just all this shit. His dad made him eat like his leftover dinner from the night before for breakfast or some shit like that. Like he wouldn't let him leave the table until he force fed all his fucking food into his throat. That kind of dad, right? It's like, you eat your fucking food or you're not gonna get to play. Just like super fucking intense rules. You gotta abide by the rules, son, or else you're not gonna amount to anything in this world. And that's kind of what my dad's like, right? But yeah, I had this amazing conversation with him where he said, if you promise to stop smoking weed, then I promise I'll start eating healthy again, right? Of course, it's like I've got a very fucking tangible goal, right? It's just quit smoking weed. And his goal is start eating healthy, right? Which could mean whatever the fuck to him, because apparently he thinks that Diet Coke is better than regular Coke. I don't fucking know, man. And so I was like, all right, Dad, all right, you want to play this little game? I'll quit smoking weed. You know, we shake on it, and what do I do when I get back to the U.S.? I fucking light up a little stogie, right? Light up one in his name, and I cheers to my dad's health as I take 2 big puffs. And so the whole point of the short film, going back to the short film, is that, you know, the dad is lying to the child when he's diving in the pool. He's like, come on, man, just dive in, get into my arms, I won't move, I promise. Boom, kid dives in, dad moves. He's fucking trying to teach him how to swim, trying to teach him a good thing, right? How to teach your boy how to swim by lying and by deceiving. And I know it's a small lie. I'm not being a sensitive cunt, okay? I know it's a small lie, but one could argue that so is lying about the weed thing. And so the whole point is that, yeah, the kid was lied to as a young boy, which also happened to me. I mean, this whole fucking thing is a true story, but and then the kid grows up, and he is now doing the same thing that the father did, because he thinks that by lying he will help his dad eat healthy, which is kind of what I fucking did. And so I don't know, just ideas like that I was thinking about. I always think about, when I think about ideas, I always think about just shit from my past, shit that I've reflected on, or I don't know, because at the end of the day, I feel like before, you know, like 3 or 4 years ago, the way I thought about ideas was like, oh, this will be fucky, this will look cool, this will be entertaining, which there's nothing wrong with that, but it's a little bit, you know, the well runs dry after a while. It's like you can only imitate your favorite artist so much before you run out of ideas, right? Because you're just waiting for them to release new shit so that you can be inspired. And so I reflect a lot on my own life when I'm thinking about ideas and stuff like that. And yeah, so I mean, I've been thinking about my life. I've been reflecting on my life a lot. I feel like it's, you know, sometimes, and this might be an intrusive thought, but sometimes I wonder when I'm gonna have a fucking mental breakdown, right? I feel like I'm waiting for that day when I just lose it. And a lot of it, and I've written about this before, a lot of it is just like making up excuses, right? It's like, well, if I'm fucking crazy, then it's not up to me, and then I can just be diagnosed crazy and fucking start taking pills and then go down that rabbit hole, right? But I don't know, man. Maybe it's just anxiety. Maybe I just don't have, or maybe in the past I didn't have a name for what was happening. But yeah, I just like, I went to bed last night, and right before I got in bed, at 10, and I'm like, all right, you're going to listen to a little podcast before bed, and I listen to 10 minutes, and I get bored, and I turn it off, and I'm like, I'm going to read for a little bit. I read for 10 minutes, I get bored, I turn that off, and then I just lie there, who knows, and I'm just thinking, like, about all the shit that I'm still ashamed of, all the shit that I'm still working on, all the shit that I'm not enough, right? I'm not good enough, I'm not doing enough, I'm not making enough money, I'm not making enough friends, I'm losing friends, and I'm losing family, and fucking I don't know, dude. I'm just all this noise that I've been taking in from social media and fucking dating apps and dates, even dates, right? And so maybe that's what it is. Maybe my anxiety has gotten worse. It's weird to me to think of myself as someone who has anxiety, because I'm like my family. I'm like my brother and my dad. You know, I'm good at shoving that shit down sometimes. Sometimes I'm not, but sometimes I'm good at just choking my feelings out. You know, just like Steve-O in his first stand-up special, just fucking get Chuck Liddell to come out and fucking choke him out. I don't even know if it was Chuck Liddell, but I was there, so I should know. Yeah, and so that's something I've been thinking about, is like, am I losing my fucking mind? Am I gonna be one of those guys that walks out on the street and just doesn't realize that he's naked, and he's fucking doesn't realize all of a sudden that he's running too? I'm just naked and running and fucking yelling out some crazy shit. I don't know. Maybe I will, right? We can't control things. At least that's what they say in all the recovery jargon that I've been consuming. Maybe I should consume more of that. I am proud of myself in one regard. So I don't know if I talked about this on the podcast yet, but a couple months ago I talked to one of my bosses, and he was like, "Hey man, I'm gonna be leaving the restaurant soon, and you're gonna stick with the other manager, and the owners are thinking about making you like an assistant GM. Are you interested?" And I was like, "Fuck yeah." All right. So like, cut to present day, it's been a month and a half, and still nothing has happened. I mean, they've talked more about it to me, and they've told me like I'm opening the restaurant by myself this Sunday. So shit's happening, but I kind of had this moment last week at work where I was like, fuck, dude, I'm sick and tired of working here. I fucking hate this place, blah, just because I had one bad day, right? I'm that kind of person that just, anything that feels like it's not fair or it's not right or it's not the way that it should be in my mind, I just can't put up with it, right? Which is something I need to practice or work on. But so yeah, I texted my boss and I was like, "Listen, man," the same one that offered me this thing, and I was like, "I would like to talk to you next time we have a chance." And he was like, "Oh, is everything okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, just would like to talk." And so then on Saturday or some shit, I don't remember the days, don't quote me on this, he says, "Hey man, is it cool if I call you?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course, my day off, right? About to go in the fucking pool, but fucking call me, why not?" And he calls me, and I was just like, "Dude, I feel like we could have fucking better employees. Like, nobody gives a shit about the work that they're doing. And maybe it's because they're only here for 3 hours a day. Maybe it's because I am not a good leader. Maybe it's for a different number of reasons. But, yeah, the Monday or whatever the fuck, I went into work, and I was like, when I left work, I was like, damn, dude, I fucking hate my job. Like, I was telling this to my boss, right, on the fucking phone, because he's like 30 years old, so we all get along, right? We're all kind of like, they say don't fraternize with your coworkers. Well, this is a fucking frat house, right? It's a bunch of 20-year-old children than me, and then these 30-year-old manager dudes. And so he was like, "Oh, so do you want to work here at all?" And I was like, "Yeah. I'm not saying like I'm quitting or anything, dude. I'm just opening up to you about it's been difficult for me, right? And I need some guidance, I need some coaching, blah blah blah." And then the next day that I'm at work and he's there, there's a new fucking guy that I'm training, right? And cut to the end of the day, and my boss is like, yeah. So we're thinking that you and this new guy will be taking the new position now, so that it's not just you. And I was like, oh, okay. Is that in other words, does that mean you showed weakness and now we're no longer going to consider you for this? Or is that me being a dramatic little bitch and overreacting, right? But so the whole point of me fucking saying this is that I'm proud of myself because I still don't have an answer. I don't know if this guy is going to replace the role that I was supposed to replace, or if we're genuinely, like, if we're both going to be doing it, or what the hell is going on. But I've stopped myself from asking my managers, because I've asked them already and they're like, it's up to the owner. You know, every time he asks us about you, we tell him only good things. So yeah, we don't know what else to tell you. I don't know if they're fucking lying to me. I don't know what's going on. But I'm trying to take a step back and because this is what always fucking happens to me. I start a new job and I get good at it, right? And then I'm told, "Oh, hey man, you're like in the running for like a manager position." And then what do you know? I put it in my head like, "Oh, I'm going to be a manager." Not I'm in the running for. I'm going to be like I deserve it, right? My fucking entitled white ass comes out and says, "They said they're being considered for this. That means you got it. You got it, brother. You're all set." And then what happens is that I don't end up getting it because I get desperate and I start to feel like I deserve shit and my work starts to drop in quality and effort and all this bullshit. So I'm trying to take a step back and go back to my stomping grounds, right? Just do your fucking work. Just work your ass off, dude. Be a good worker. Be an ethical worker. If your coworkers don't want to do their job, you're not their fucking babysitter. All you can do is tell them what needs to be done, but you can't make them do it. And so yeah, I've stopped myself about 3 times now from being like, "Hey boss man, do you know if can you just be straight up with me? Like, do you know if this is still happening or not?" Because at the end of the day, if it fucking isn't, then what is me asking them gonna do, right? If it is or it isn't, and I just continue to put in the work, then maybe it will, maybe it won't. But you know, I need to take it easy because I've been fucking, yeah, dude. I've just been acting in ways that I'm not super proud of lately. And I'm the first to be just dead hard on myself. Like, you think that your Mexican dad was hard on you, dude? I'm fucking hard on myself, harder than anyone has ever been on anyone in this world, you know, except people who kill themselves, because those people are just like, "Oh, nothing's worth it anymore," right? Like, that's the most extreme version of being hard on yourself, is like, my life's not worth living anymore. And I'm not that by any means. I'm too scared of suicide to fucking even think about it, dude. Like, I don't even, how the fuck would you even do that, right? Like, jumping off a bridge, I'm afraid of heights. Fucking slitting your wrists or some shit, like, that just makes me want to throw up, dude. Like, it's like when you watch a video of someone's head getting like kicked or something, it's just like you look away thinking about that. It's like, fucking what, take 1,000 pills of ibuprofen or some shit. Like, that just seems like it would make me like have a stomach ache, right? I don't want to die with a stomach ache. And so yeah, like suicide, dude, it's not for me. It's not for me. I would rather suffer on this earth than go to hell and suffer there, right? Though I don't believe in hell, even though I saw it when I smoked fucking DMT. I mean, if a hell exists, that was it, right? And if it does, then that means I'm going there, because I don't think I would have seen that shit if I wasn't supposed to, you know? But yeah, what the fuck was I talking about? I'm taking a step back, dude, and try not to control outcomes. That's a big thing that stuck with me, is just try not to control outcomes, because at the end of the day, you can't. And that's why most of my relationships have failed, is because I'm so fucking afraid of losing my partner. When I get invested in a romantic relationship, that becomes my number one fear, and so therefore that becomes my number one priority, is avoiding that. And that's just no way to live a life, much less to have a partner, you know. He said partner. Does that mean that it could be a man or a woman or a fucking transvestite? Nah, fucking, you know what I mean, dude. Yeah, so trying not to control outcomes as much, and cut myself some slack. I just get so mad at myself when I do cut myself slack. You know, like this past Wednesday, I went to a trivia night. I was supposed to go on a date to a trivia night. I text the girl. She's like, can't make it. And I was like, I still want to go. So I text one of my buddies, and I'm like, you want to go to trivia night? Boom. Me and him go. And then while I'm there, I invite two other of my friends. And all three of these friends have never hung out with each other. So it's like a new group. I don't usually mix friends, but I'm trying to do that, because you shouldn't compartmentalize different fucking friends with, like, you know, like, oh, my mom can't hang out with this friend, but she can hang out with this friend because he doesn't smoke crack, right? It's like, nah, dude. Everybody is fucking a part of your life, so if someone else wants to be a part of your life, they should be a part of all of your life. And so yeah, it's me and these four friends, and I started drinking. I hadn't eaten very much, so I was like, one beer got me tipsy, and then I I started drinking another beer, and then all of a sudden, I'm chit-chatting with the women next to us, right? I'm making jokes, I'm making fun of them, I'm making fun of my friends, I'm making fun of myself. Just having a fucking blast. And then the next day I wake up feeling like shit, and I'm like, god damn it, dude. Like almost like the fun wasn't worth it, right? I'm like, at what cost, though? I had fun one night so that I could lose a day. I mean, it just doesn't fucking add up. But that's my me being hard on myself, because I'm 23 years old, going on 24 in about 20 days, 25 days, I don't know. And I need to live my life, you know? That's another reason my relationships don't ever work, is because I always, when I'm single, I'm like, I need to enjoy my life. I need to go out and just have these casual relationships like the one I have kind of going on right now, and just go out and have fun with my friends and write and do all these things that I feel like I can't do when I'm in a relationship. But when I'm single, it's like my brain is just like, you can't be alone. Fucking try and find somebody, right? And so then before I know it, I'm in another relationship, and so I need more of these nights where I give myself slack, and I just go out and have a fun time and don't take shit too seriously. So yeah, that's been my week. I told this whole fucking story about my book on the last podcast, and I forgot to tell you when it comes out, where you can get it, all that shit, right? It just shows my inexperience. with podcasting and with self-promotion, because I hate self-promotion, you know? I hate it to its core, but I've got to get better at it. At least that's what people tell me, right? People love to tell you, like, at least maybe it's just the fucking people that I meet, but like people love to tell you what they think about what you're doing, right? Especially people that aren't doing shit with their life. I don't know. It just gets old after a while. It's like, can you just listen and not have an opinion, right? Do we all have to have opinions in the current climate? Like, why does everybody have to have a fucking opinion, man? Why can't people just fucking listen and be like, oh yeah, you think that gun control is fine the way that it is, and really it's a mental health issue. Yeah, like, tell me more, you know? Like, why's it gotta be like, but did you vote for Trump? You think you voted for Trump, right? You fucking bigot. You voted for Trump, so you're a bigot. That's all you are. It's a fucking bigot, because nobody that's not a bigot would have voted for Trump. It's like, is that as far as your thought process goes? No wonder you hate Jordan Peterson, right? Oh man, it's just so fucking. I shouldn't even get started, because that'll just turn into me yelling at the mic. Yeah, man. And I don't even like getting political, so fuck that, you know. Fuck politics. I mean, if people want to, and if you look at me, I'm like, do you really have to have an opinion, man? And here I am. Fuck politics. No, I don't fucking know, dude. You can be into politics, you can be into whatever the fuck you want, but just, you know, just be respectful of what other people are into. If people like Trump and people believe that Trump is making the economy better, then fucking let them think that. And if fucking male feminists want to tell you that you can't call a woman a bitch even when you're joking, then let them believe that and keep on calling them that, right? Other people's opinions don't have to fucking alter your life. It's hard though, I understand. It is difficult to do that shit. I don't know. Have I run out of things to talk about? It seems like it, but yeah. Oh my god, I just fucking said that I talked about the book in my last podcast and I didn't tell you where to get it, and now fucking lost my train of thought and didn't do it again. Yeah, this new book that I'm fucking alienating my whole social circle from by publishing. It's called We All Wear Masks. It's a memoir that I wrote about a relationship that I was in and some selfish shit that I did when I was going through a lot of negative emotions that I didn't know how to handle. Think of it as like a toned down version of like a drug addict memoir, right? I don't know, dude. I'm not good at selling myself. I don't know, man. It's called We All Wear Masks, and you can buy it on Amazon. You can pre-order it on Amazon right now if you want. But it'll be out on October 3rd in paperback, Kindle, and audiobook. If I can get that shit finished by then. The audiobook, that's turning out to be more of a hassle, man, than I expected it to. But yeah, thanks for tuning in, and hopefully I'll see you around next time. Have a good weekend, and don't forget to take a moment to remember the troops and all the people that jumped out of that building 18 years ago. Actually, a quick fucking story. I may have told this already, but a quick fucking story in memory of 9/11, or in honor of 9/11. I went on a date before this Mexico City trip with a girl that was like oversharing like way too soon, right? The first thing she said when she fucking showed up was like, I was in the terrorist attacks in Nice. And I was like, Jesus fucking Christ, can you at least tell me your name first? Right? And then I said that, and she was like, oh, my dad almost was in one of the airplanes that crashed into the Twin Towers during 9/11. And I was like, did you show up and not like me and decide, like, what's the quickest way I can end this date, right? Like, that's how I felt. But anyway, yeah, so I guess that's, what is that, 6 degrees between me and 9/11. And that's not a joke about burns. I don't know, man. I'm not a fucking stand-up comedian. So take whatever jokes you can get, right? All right, I'm gonna go fuck myself now. See you later.